We are back with another manager tactic recreation. We turn our attention to Birmingham City and none other than Chris Davies. After 34 games in Sky Bet League 1, Birmingham City find themselves top of the tree comfortably, and I'm sure they're going to lift that trophy come the end of the season. And they've done that with some class, some skill and some vigour, averaging 1.6 goals per game and pretty much firing themselves back to the championship. With all them goals also comes utter ball retention, ball domination, getting an average ball possession of 66.3% per game, pretty much dictating the tempo on their terms. As good as they are with the ball at their feet, they are also an absolute brick wall at the back. 18 clean sheets and only conceding 0.6 goals per game. Their manager does have them set up more often than not in that fantastic 4-2-3-1, where he definitely gets the very, very best out of every single player in the position. And I think it pretty much goes without saying, Birmingham City have some of the best players in Sky Bet League 1. Pretty much too good for the division they're in. They've got the likes of Stansfield, Paik, Clara, Hansen, and yes, you better believe it, the list goes on. Absolute abundance of quality in the ranks of Birmingham City. Everybody, welcome back in once again. We have just landed ourselves here at SofaScore. We're going to have a look at some of the lineup, some of the statistics, some of the individual player heat maps, so we can get a bit of an understanding of how we're going to go on to build this setup on Football Manager. But for now, we can see straight away their form is absolutely superb. They had that slip up against Bolton where they did lose by 3-1, but more often than not they do tend to come out on top. You'd expect that with the kind of quality in their team. But we are going to use the Stevenage game here to kind of gather our information up. Now straight away, we know they set up in the 4-2-3-1. More often than not, that is the go-to formation. Statistically here, every game they pretty much dominate possession, dominate the ball, and in turn that's why they're having so many clean sheets. They're not really giving away many big opportunities. Look at that. In this game, for instance, against Stevenage, dominate the ball, and they pretty much created absolutely nothing, probably apart from a lot of long-range shots as well. So a lot of possession, a lot of passes, pretty much over double the amount that Stevenage done in this game. Birmingham City winning more tackles. It looks like they're aggressive in their play as well, really looking to put the emphasis on pressure, intense pressing, shutting down the opposition and winning that ball back as soon as possible. But looking at the Lincoln game now, the same thing once again. Ball possession, dominating, chances created, 0, plenty of shots. So Birmingham, they're not rushing in their play, they're very intricate in their build-up, patiently waiting for opportunities, not just rushing the play. Of course, they've got some big, strong lads in their team as well, so they do have the option to go long if they want to, but more often than not, they are going to look to pass that ball around patiently from defence through to midfield, through to attack, and it's absolutely paying dividends for them so far this season. Like we said, they're more than likely going to go on to win League 1. If they don't, there seems to be some massive, massive problems. In the Leyton Orient game, looking at this statistically again, it's the same sort of pattern week in, week out. Unless you're not going to win every single game, like we discussed just. They did lose to Bolton, and if we look at that game there, they still had more of the ball. Just didn't really quite go for them on the day. But like I said, you're not going to expect to win every single game all the way through to the end of a long, hard season in Sky Bet League 1. So anyway, let's go back over to this Stevenage game now. Go to the lineups. We'll have a look now at each of these players on the heat map, see where they're having most of their work done and how they're going about their business on the field. Starting off with the goalkeeper, Ryan Alsop, pretty much a no-frills goalkeeper, nothing fancy. He's there to stop goals going in, and he's doing that week in, week out. Regarding his position on the field, he's not just a goalkeeper. He will be, I reckon, some sort of a sweeper keeper on a defensive or slash support role, something like that. But he's not scared to come out and clear some balls that potentially may come over the top, especially with Birmingham City having a bit of a higher line compared to most teams. So sweeper keeper support, sweeper keeper defence. We'll have to have a look at what is best suited on FM. Both the fullbacks in Samstead and Cochrane, you can see straight away from that heat map, Samstead gets forward most of the time. He really gets past that halfway line. He's getting up the wing, he's supporting attacks, and he's creating all sorts of problems as well, but he's not scared to do his defensive duties as well. But Cochrane, on the other hand, does tend to sit a little bit deeper compared to Samstead. Will occasionally get forward when safe to do so. So I think definitely on the right-hand side, on the wing-back areas, we're looking at a wing-back attack right and a wing-back support on that left-hand side. Maybe Cochrane pinging a few more direct balls up towards the strikers. The two centre-halves in Ben Davies and Christoph Clara, both been absolutely solid for Birmingham City this season. Very, very good defenders. We're going to have them both set as ball-playing defenders. We want Birmingham City to be patient in their approach as they go forward, playing the Chris Davies way. And we're also going to have a look at the line being stepped up the field, just short of the halfway line. Then we'll look to step up more when we're in possession. So expect a very, very high line here on this setup. Now the two motors in the middle of the park is Seung Ho Paik and Tomoki Iwata. Ignore me if I've absolutely butchered their names. I'm sure some Birmingham City fans will come on in and say, no, you've pronounced it wrong. I apologise. I'm a Villa fan, and you might even say, why am I doing this setup for you guys? One of my subscribers wanted to see it. KRO, you know who you are. And yeah, this is for you. But anyway, back to the two engines in the middle of the park. These guys cover so much ground. And not only that, you can see how accurate their passes are. They're really, really good with the ball at their feet. But I think looking at this now, we're going to have Seung Ho Paik as pretty much a box-to-box. He's getting forward. He's getting back doing his defensive duties as well. He's pretty much covering the whole field. And I think Tomoki Iwata, or whoever is in that position, we're going to have a bit more of a roaming playmaker. Look to drop a little bit deeper, pick up possession off the defenders and look to build going forward. But both these players in this position need to be able to pass the ball, move it quickly. And these two are doing just that. The two wide players now is Hansen and Dow, but starting off on the left-hand side with Hansen, he did only play 45 minutes in this game. Really, really good pass completion there, 90%, one key pass, so doing bits since coming onto the field. But you can see how close he plays his game towards that touchline. Pretty much a winger, looking to get balls into the box and get towards the opposition byline. Stay as close as he can to that touchline. So I think a winger attack will really, really suit that position there very, very well. He's not getting back too often to help his defenders, hence why on that left-hand side we've got Cochrane being a little bit more conservative in his play, as Hampton is just going to be on an attacking role. On the right-hand side, it takes us to Kieran Dow. This guy is going to be an inside forward support, but I want to have a little bit more of a free roam on this player. Not scared to get around the field. He will drop in centrally. He will even drop back and do his defensive duties as well. But I think if we have an inside forward support role with roam for position, he's really going to be able to cover a lot of ground, get balls into the box. He's going to be able to cut out wide, but also then cut inside centrally on the park, causing all sorts of problems for the opposition. But once again, straight away you can see how good the pass completion is and how accurate they are as a team so far. The next player this next player, Willem Thor Williamson, for me, is, well, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, Birmingham City fans, from what I've seen, this guy is absolutely crucial to what Birmingham City do. He really keeps the game ticking over. He's not just fantastic at his ball retention, he's great at shooting, he puts himself about the field, and as you can see from the heat map, how much ground he really, really does cover. He's doing his attacking duties, he's getting back supporting his team defensively, and you can see why they're so impressive, Birmingham City this season. They've got players that cover a lot of ground and really leave no stone unturned on the field, and at the end of the game, they've left nothing left in the tank. A really, really solid player for Birmingham. On this occasion, he's had nearly 90% accurate passes and one key pass in the game, but really gets things going really, really nicely in that cam role. So we'll see exactly what we can get out of Williamson on this simulation. The tip of the spear for Birmingham City. There isn't another striker at the club I'd rather play than this guy up front. He's clinical in front of goal. He's proved how much of a goal scorer he is, and Birmingham City no doubt have the best striker in League One in Jay Stansfield. His hard working, his determination, his commitment to the cause, and I said his eye for goal. If he gets an opportunity, more often than not, he is going to take it. But it's not just about that. He's not just there to score goals. He's also there to link up play, and as you can see, how much ground he's covering there. He's not just sitting there looking to poach a finish. He's getting out left. He's getting out wide right. He's even coming back to help out defensively as well. So the whole team in general, the work ethic, the commitment, the desire for everyone, it's a real team effort, and it's got a real spirit around Birmingham City, and that's what they've dominated so far this season. And I think their fans can be very proud of what they've seen, and they're going to bounce straight back to the Championship. And even as a Villa fan, I would like to see Birmingham City do a back-to-back, get back into the Prem, and get them derby days back, because I tell you what, I don't half miss it. Half my family's Blues, half my Villa, and we have a bloody good time on derby day. But anyway, enough of me rambling. We've got a bit of an idea there, a bit of an understanding of each individual player role, how they go about their business on the field. Let's jump over now to FM24 and let's have a look at my take, my interpretation on this Davies setup here at Birmingham City. So ladies and gentlemen, there is the Chris Davies setup here at Birmingham City. The 4-2-3-1. We have got a positive mentality. It's going to be the only way to fly. We're expected to dominate the league, and we're going to do that only by playing on the front foot. Now, the attacking width is fairly wide. We're going to play the ball out of defence. The passing directness is going to be shorter. We know we want to retain possession as much as physically possible. So, yep, we want to get that done. We're going to work the ball into the box. I think with the quality we've got out in the wide, in fact, the quality across the whole team, we can be patient. We can look for openings, because we know teams are going to sit off and try and be a little bit more defensive against us. So we are going to have a lot more of the ball, and we're going to need to thread the odd needle pass from time to time. So I think work the ball into box will go very well. On the creative freedom, we want the player to really express themselves on the field. We know we've got better quality players than everybody else in the league. Let's use that to our advantage. On the in transition, we are going to counter press when possession has been lost. We want to use our energy, we want to use our passion on the field to get that ball back, and when we do win it back, we're going to hold our shape, take our time, and look to dictate the tempo on the field. When the goalkeeper is in possession of the ball, we're going to slow the pace down. We don't need to rush it, and he's got an option of laying it off to anyone at the back four. The defensive shape, when out of possession, we have a high press from all the attacking players, and our defensive line is going to be higher. When it comes to putting the press on, we're going to trigger it much more often. We're going to prevent short goalkeeping distribution. We want to force them long to get the ball back under our spell. And of course, tackling, we want to get stuck in. We want to be aggressive in how we go about our business. Leave a little bit on the opposition, hopefully fairly, where we keep 11 men on the field. But let's really get into it. Nice, disciplined, yet aggressive style of play. Now, when we have got possession though, we're going to ask the defensive line to step up a little bit more and really get up towards that halfway line, locking and penning the opposition back in. Now, the individual player roles, starting off with the goalkeeper. As previously discussed, we're having a sweeper, keeper, defender in Peacock Farrell. I was going to play Allsop, but unfortunately he is injured. So a sweeper, keeper, defend, nothing added to him at all. On wing-back left position, we have a wing-back support in Cochrane, and the additional instructions of take fewer risks and also cross from deep as well. We've seen from the heat maps he doesn't really get anywhere past that halfway line. If he does, it's quite rare. Leave the attacking to the right-hand side. So Cochrane, wing-back support. On the opposite side, it is wing-back attack. It's going to be Ethan Laird for the time being, and we've got an additional instructions of take more risk. We know he's going to get forward as Kieran Dowell does cut inside. He's going to draw a defender in and create a little bit more space then for Laird to get some dangerous balls into the penalty box. And now the two centre-halves is Clara and Davies. We have got options in there. The game, some reason, thinks Bielik is better than Clara. I'll just let the assistant manager decide when it comes down to match day. But both of these are ball-playing defenders with standard instructions on them. The two centre midfielders are going to be Paik Sung Ho, and it's going to be Gardner Hickman in that box-to-box role. I was going to put Iwata in there, but unfortunately the game thinks he's a centre defender, so it's not going to work. So unfortunately he's a bencher. But we have a roaming playmaker in Paik. He is going to be on a support role, and the only additional instruction is tackle harder. And Gardner Hickman, box-to-box midfielder. We want him getting up and down that field, getting him involved in the attack, but also getting back to help his team defensively. We've got the additional instructions of tackle harder. I want a really combative centre midfield, and I think that really really does emphasise the Chris Davies way. It's all heart and soul, and I think you get that with these two and these roles in the middle of the park. On the left-hand side of the attacking midfield, takes us to Hansen. He's set at a winger attack, and there's no additional instructions added to him at all, and I think it really complements that left-hand side of the field. With Cochrane not looking to be too expansive, we can leave Hansen just to focus on attacking only. On the right-hand side, it takes us to Kieran Dowell, inside forward, support, and the additional instructions of roam from position. I did say I want this guy to pretty much cover a lot of ground, whether it's out wide by the touchline, whether it's coming in centrally, whether it's dropping back into the middle of midfield to help support them and get a ball into feet. He's got a bit of a licence to thrill and a licence to pretty much roam around that field wherever he sees fit. So let's see how he gets on this year in that role. Now in the cam role, it brings us to Williamson, a very, very good player, and it's a very, very important position for Birmingham City. Now it is an attacking midfielder support role. We've got him holding up ball and also moving into channels. I want him getting that ball into his feet, holding it up. There is no rush in what we're doing. If we're at 0-0, we're not going to just try and force it. Take your time, short, sharp passes, move the defenders around, drag them around the field, and then that will in turn create spaces for us to thread that ball through and create some chances on goal. But Williamson, very, very important to get this system ticking over nicely, and I think with him definitely moving into channels, he'll be able to get the ball into his feet, work a little bit of magic, and create some space in behind him. There's going to be some pockets then for Kieran Dowell just to drop into as he drops a little bit deeper. So keep an eye on Williamson. I want to see how many assists he can get this year. Of course, a few goals would be nice, but I expect to see over 10 from Williamson or whoever does fit into this position across the course of this campaign. And last but most certainly not least, it takes us to the hitman in Jay Stansfield. He is going to be set as a pressing forward attack, and he's got default instructions of moving to channels, close down more, and tackle harder. Like we discussed earlier in the video, you know Stansfield, he plays with his heart on his sleeve, and he will give everything to the cause. So I expect to see a lot of goals from Stansfield this year, or even his backup strikers, Alfie May, Lyndon Dykes, whoever it may be. Let's get some goals. Let's fire this team into a successful one-season simulation back into the Championship. So I think there we have got a brief understanding of some of the key points of how Chris Davies sets his team up. We know the tactic, we know the individual player roles, we know how they're going to go about their business individually and collectively as a unit. Now, come the end of the season, after this simulation, I want to see goals. I want to see us dominate possession. I want to see us lifting that bloody title come the end of the season. But this has been a difficult tactic recreation to make for me because, well, yeah, there you go. I'm a Villa fan. Big Villa fan, so it's painful. But you subscribers wanted to see the Davies setup, so I've duly delivered. Anyway, let's simulate this on now. We'll come back at the end of the season, have a look at the results, have a look at how the players got on, and we'll have a look at some of the goals, some of the highlights across the course of the season. I'll see you shortly. It was indeed an absolute Chris Davies masterclass, and I'm a genius. I've recreated an absolute dream setup, and at the end of the season, after 46 games, we win 32, drawn 11, only lost 3. We've got an absolutely smashing goal difference of plus 65, getting 107 points. And what's absolutely also super duper on there, Jay Stansfield, 24 goals. Emil Hansen from that left hand side getting 21 goals. We got plenty of clean sheets through Peacock Farrell with 14. And Jay Stansfield's not far off the best average rating in the entire league. So what a superb season in League One. And just as we expected and just as we wanted, the tactic and the players have delivered. We wanted to see a similar possession at the end of the season, and we've averaged 64% across 46 games with an 88% pass completion, which is absolutely superb. Some of the streaks on there now, games without losing 10. We was fantastic. We scored 115 goals, averaging 2.5 goals per game, which is also very good indeed. Cross completion, the best in the league. Crosses completed 302. nearly 200 chances created. We have been absolutely formidable in front of goal. You could just see every stat there is dominated by us, which is superb. I'd love to see that. Shots on target, 281 in 46 games, and we nearly had not far off 50% of our shots on target. So clinical, absolutely clinical and dominating on the attacking aspects. On the defensive side of things, we didn't quite get number one spot, numero uno. That went to Bolton. They conceded 49. We conceded 50. But let's not forget, we are a little bit more proactive in our play. We like to get on the front foot a little bit more than what they would have done. They probably would have been a little bit more defensively minded than us. But we don't mind that. 50 goals across a course of the season conceded. We did get second place again to Bolton. We got 16 clean sheets. Let's just have a little journey down here now. You can see we had the least passes completed against us, which is always nice to see. And the final third passes actions per game was 36. So you can see we was dominating the ball. And when we didn't, we'd pushed them that far back into their own half. They're not even getting anywhere near our goal. So I think this tactic has been absolutely superb across the whole campaign. If we have a look at the data hub now, on the general performance. So 2.5 goals per game. We're conceding a little bit more than what I would have liked to have, because I think it was 0.6 per game, I think, on SofaScore was telling me. But we're not at the end of the season yet, so that may well rise. It could decrease, I don't know. But conceding just over 1, but it doesn't really make any difference when you're scoring 2.5 per game. 14 shots on goal. We're having nearly half of those on target, and where it's very, very impressive, we knew we needed to be around the 90% area of the pass completion ratio to kind of, get as close to Chris Davies setup in real life. And I think everything on there is there or thereabouts. We probably could have done a little bit better defensively, but unfortunately, everything like that is out of my control on FM24, but really, really impressed. Across the season, all the players were absolutely fantastic, but some of the most notable players in the team was Stansfield, it was Laird, it was Hansen, and of course we wanted to see Williamson get involved, and he did get 12 assists, which is nice. If we have a look at this now, Hansen, 14 assists with 24 goals, which is crazy. Williamson, 12 assists, 8 goals. Box-to-box midfielder, Gardner Hickman, 11 assists and 5. Scott Wright getting himself 12 and 10. Dow got 17 goals and 10 assists, but absolutely phenomenal. Now, we know, and I've said it numerous times, we've got some absolutely unbelievable quality in this team compared to everybody else in League One, and we've delivered. The points ratio is crazy. The goals he's scored are crazy. These player individual performances are absolutely through the roof and off the charts, and it's just nice to see the whole team getting involved. And it's also good to see it right back. We know Laird, whoever was at that wing back right position, was going to get forward. They was going to create opportunities, and he's managed to get 7 assists. But even Cochrane, sitting a little bit deeper, did get 2. But I don't think it would have been Buchanan. See, even Buchanan at the left side still got himself 7 assists as well. So he's done very, very well from really all across the wide areas of the field. So yeah, really impressive team performances and some fantastic individual ones as well. Just before we have a look at some of the highlights across the course of the season, some of our team goals, I just can't see from the left-hand side how he has got 24 goals and 14 assists. I just don't know how, but we're not going to moan at him. Take a bow, son. Take a bow, Emil Hansen. Across the whole season, we pretty much dominated. There wasn't really too much to worry about. We did have a bit of a sticky spell at the start of January, but after that, we pretty much kicked on, and we'd done the job. The league was won, and we absolutely were firing on all cylinders. But there are a few games on here we are going to look at now. I'm going to pick out some of the key highlights and look at some of this beautiful team play on the field with this Chris Davies setup. Let's dive into these highlights. In this 3-0 win against Wigan, we managed to get goals from Stansfield, we got a goal from Keshi Anderson, and we got a goal from Williamson as well. But what I can see straight away from that poor screen there is the defence. We can see Cochrane, he's sitting a little bit deeper, exactly what we wanted him to do. We've got our centre-backs pushing up a little bit higher at the field, but we've also got Laird looking to get a little bit more forward, which is what we wanted, be a bit more expansive on that right-hand side. So you can see the difference there in where they are on the field. There's at least 10 or 15 yards difference there in their position. We've got Hansen in the middle of the park there, Bielik just sitting in. But what I want to take... So in this 3-0 win against Wigan, we're going to start off there just with that poor screen and see straight away the difference in the fullbacks. Now, we wanted Cochrane to sit a little bit deeper. He's doing that. But what do we want to see on the right-hand side? We want to see Laird be a little bit more expansive. And you can see about a 10 to 15 yard difference on their positioning, which is key to this move. And also, we want to take a note of what Williamson is doing as well, because we know he's an attacking midfielder. We said we wanted to drop into the channels, drop into pockets of space, and we get that. You can see straight away he's available there, offering himself for the ball. He did drop back in the channel, but we're not scared to pop one over the top. Stansfield puts it away for 1-0 to Birmingham City. They had possession. We win the ball back off them with intense pressure. Keshi Anderson bombing down that left-hand side. We're going to pause it there now. And you can see the amount of numbers we have got forward in the box. They've got 6 defenders back, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in and around the area, with even Laird gambling on the outside as well. And it's just superb to see the kind of numbers we're getting forward, creating these sorts of opportunities on goal. Let's have a look at this third goal now. You can see Wigan have what you'd think was safe possession in their own box. We're pressing now. We're putting the pressure all over the pitch, and who's there to pounce? We'll pause it there for a second to really appreciate what Williamson has done. We haven't given them a second to think on the ball. There's no time to get their head up, pick the pass. We caused problems, and they created their own mistake then, where Williamson pounces, slots it past the goalkeeper, but a really, really good team move, and emphasises the amount of work rate and desire this team has to get that ball back under their spell. Now, this game was a top of the table clash against Barnsley. They did take the lead through a penalty, but we had a corner. We drifted it in, and who is there? It is Hansen. Not just good with the ball at his feet, he's also pretty good from corners by the look of it with his headers. But this is where now we took the lead, courtesy of a goal from Jay Stansfield. But you can see Lee Myung-jae with the ball. We've got a really, really high defensive line. Like I said, when we're in possession, we want to step up towards that halfway line, pushing the opposition back. We've done that, and you're going to see now some nice, intricate play. Ethan Laird, a little bit of space down that left-hand side. Hansen with the overlap. Plenty of time, plenty of space. Pulls the ball back to Stansfield to knock it in to give us a 2-1 lead. But then Barnsley get back into the game. We didn't quite pick up properly from the cross, and De Gaveni, whatever his name was, there to score. But this is where we got the winner. It was in the 93rd minute. From a corner, it's put in. Anderson recycling possession. We've got a man out wide now. Look at the space here for Laird on that left-hand side. He does find him. Laird puts the ball back in. The attacking line here, Dykes, Stansfield, time their runs to absolute perfection there, with Cotter playing them just onside. Put across. Stansfield is not going to miss from there. That is 3-2, and what was a massively, massively important 3 points towards us winning the league title and getting promotion. The final highlight we are going to look at is because Hansen scored an absolute belter of a hat-trick. So he got one from the spot, and the second goal now, we built the ball up from the back again. Hansen, really, he should be out in the board area. Didn't really want him cutting in there, but I bet he's thought, you know what, forget it, I'm cutting inside with the ball. He's found a bit of space anyway. Drives past his defenders, skins 2 people on the way, strikes it. Little bit of a good fortune on the shot, and it went into the back of the net. They did go on to get a goal back, and it's another bit of a dodgy defensive work. We could have done better. We could have closed down a little bit quicker. Hamilton got a goal back, but then we did go 3-1 up and pretty much kill the game off. Short throw-in. Nice little 1-2. Nice little interchange. Gardner-Hickman slides that ball. Laird into the box now. Look at the time. Look at the space. We've got there Hansen lurking, getting the numbers into the box. Laird's going to pull it back. He turns, strikes it in off the post, 3-1, 3 points. An overall fantastic season, but we're going to reiterate once again, Hansen, yeah, we've said it earlier, take a bow. Well, take another one because he has been absolutely phenomenal. What can we say? We've seen some absolutely super fantastic team goals. I feel we've nailed this Chris Davies setup down to an absolute T. We could have been a little bit better defensively, but you can't have it all. We've dominated. We've won League One. They've got promotion. We've seen some absolutely fantastic individual performances. Namely, you've guessed it, Hansen. What a player. Before you all go, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If there is any managerial tactics you do want to see remade, let me know in the comment section. And of course, I will do it as soon as I can. Unless it's a crap idea, then we won't be doing it. But until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you all soon.